Lucas from iExplorer here. Today I'm in Shinjuku on this beautiful, cloudy, overcast, rainy day, and I'm going to do some street photography with the Viltrox 135 1.8 for full frame. So let's get on to the video. Let's shoot with this lens a little bit.
iExplorer.
So yeah, apparently this lens isn't out yet as of today, so this video will be out around when the lens comes out. Hopefully we get it out on time. But Viltrox was kind enough to, ask if we would like this lens, and I said, sure, send us the lens. It's a pretty cool looking lens. Actually, this is my first day using it. I still have the little sticker on there. Let's peel that off. Maybe we can get some ASMR action. I don't know. Now I have a little souvenir. Okay, let me put that in my pocket. Anyway, literally didn't have time to really practice with this lens or explore and try it out or anything at all. It is just the first day I'm using it today. I did take a few shots before the video just to kind of get a feel for it, but that's it. So it'll literally be my first impression. And I already want to shoot some stuff here on this terrace. That's why I brought us out here. I figured we need some open spaces to, utilize the extra focal length. And the thing I already like is that really cool fog on the NTT Docomo building up there. Very nice. But something that also caught my eye about this lens when I was just playing around with it for literally 20 minutes before, it focuses really close. So I can get it down to, it says 72 centimeters, which means if I get about here, I can get pretty much a macro shot of these water droplets on the glass, and that looks really cool. And I'm gonna go all the way up to f16, 200th of a second. I like shooting these kind of things, these sort of textures and whatnot around the city. Nice, just took a bunch more just to make sure I got that nice and sharp, because I don't want to be out of focus. I'm gonna try an f11 as well. I realize maybe 16 is overkill. Just trying to get everything sharp, sharp as in focus at this distance, because I'm so close to it. Anyway, it's not really, I don't think it's at all marketed or advertised as a, a macro lens, but I think, let's go that way. But I think it's interesting to use it that way sometimes. It's something that does come up in my shooting. I like shooting walls and textures and things like that. Anyway, so yeah, I've always wanted a 135. I've never owned one. I know Nikon makes some kind of classic 135s that I've always sort of coveted. They're called I think there's two. There's a 105 and a 135. I think they're both f2, and they have this DC marker, which means defocus control, so you can change the bokeh. I've always wanted to get one of these, never got around to it. I don't even know how available they are anymore. But I like the idea of a 135. It's kind of an interesting focal length. And although I have a 70-200 f2.8 zoom lens that I use for shooting events and stuff, I basically just use it for work. And I have used it outside. I have used it for street photography or urban photography. But it just, I don't know, I don't like using zooms when I'm trying to be creative. I like the idea of a prime. And I like the extra, aperture, more f-stop, whatever, bigger aperture on this lens compared to the 2.8 zoom. Let me see if I can shoot anything else over here from this position before we move on. There are people on that bridge over there, but now I'm shooting, through this glass, and that distorts things a bit. So I dragged Axel out to shoot in the rain on a freezing cold day. Axel also has a little knee injury recently, so I'm carrying all our gear. So I pity him. He's limping right next to me right now, so we're going slow. But anyway, I dragged Axel out here to shoot this video, and specifically in this spot because I saw somebody take a cool photo from the bus terminal up here. Now, they didn't say where it was when I saw their reel or something on Instagram. I wish I remember who it was. I would love to put a credit. I can't remember whose reel it was that I saw. But anyway, I saw this photo. I thought, oh, that's cool. And then I was thinking of ways to, use this lens, because it's a 135. It's quite a long lens, telephoto. That spot came to mind. I was like, ooh, that's the perfect spot to try this lens out. So we're going to head there right now, try to get a nice shot of this crossing. And hopefully in the rain, we'll get some nice umbrella action from above. So this light drizzle that we're dealing with is perfect. And also I'm kind of, swallowing my own poison here, I guess, because I was recommending, we did a video recently about 10 or 11 tips for street photography. And one of my tips was embrace bad weather or something like that. If the weather sucks, you should still go out and take photos, because that's when it's interesting. And sure enough, today the weather pretty much sucks, but I think it's actually great for what I want to shoot. So yeah, I like this overcast white sky. I think it's interesting for architecture. And as I already took, there's the fog low on the buildings. And I like that effect. And it's easier to reach that, easier to frame that with a pretty long lens, because I don't have to worry about foreground distractions and things if I was using, say, a 35 or something. All right, so we've gotten up here to where the spot is. Actually, before that, I'm going to shoot this building here again from this angle. I wish the building was cooler. I mean, it's a pretty cool building with this kind of like dystopian Ministry of Truth, 1984 vibe. All right, so here is the view. So from this awkward position, we can look down on the crossing there. And yeah, I'm gonna hopefully get somebody cool over there. I gotta like a little bit rudely step up on this thing. Sorry. And then we'll try to get some people. So as we wait for the green light, maybe I'll throw up some old photos that I wanted to show, because actually one of the first lenses I ever got back in the day for my Nikon D300 was a 105 f2.5 AIS lens, this manual focus telephoto lens. And it was very tricky to use, and I didn't really even know why I got it. I just thought, that's cool. It was very cheap, because it's secondhand, quite old lens, it's very beat up. But I took some photos that even to this day I quite like with this lens. And then of course I moved away from that. I moved in other directions, and everyone, like everyone, I always shoot on 35 or 28 or something like that. So it's kind of nice to be back in that focal range, because the 105 with the crop factor of the D300, it was like a 160 or so, I guess, something like that, 150 something. It's kind of interesting. Now, by the way, I put the hood on. This lens is, it's only that big. It's got this giant hood on the front. I put the hood on. I usually don't use hoods, but on a day like this with this very like misty sort of rain, it would very quickly mist up the front element, and that would be very annoying to clean up. So I thought, okay, I'll use the hood today. All right, here we go. People coming. There's also a lady on a bike, which would have been great if she was a little farther from the edge of the street. Okay, so yeah, what I really want, of course, is like one person, but I'm not likely to get that. Let's say, I'm not gonna say I'm not gonna get it, but I'm not likely to get it. But if I get very lucky, there might be like a person, running towards the end of the crossing, or sometimes in the beginning, they run ahead, and then I'll be able to get like an individual. Yeah, I might also crop some of these a little bit. Oh, here we go, girls running. 2 girls with a pink umbrella. That was not terrible. I mean, I got more or less what I wanted there. So as always, I'll say that, Viltrox was very kind to send this to us. And so this is, I guess, a promotional video. Like you can think of it as a sponsored video in that regard, because it's a pretty expensive lens to send us for free, which I'm very thankful for. But I just want to underline that, we're not really like a hardcore gear review channel. I'm barely talking about the lens itself. I'm more about how we're going to use it, right? As we can already, I've already demonstrated a few things. But I just wanted to underline one point that maybe I've never mentioned, and no one's ever like brought this up in the comments, but I wanted to say it. It's that I almost never ask for things or like get sent things that I don't actually think are interesting, because we get a lot of offers to review stuff or promote stuff, and I say no because it's just not that interesting to me. That's pretty cool. It's one pink umbrella in a sea of gray. But you can be sure that whatever we're showing here on the iExplore channel is at least genuinely interesting to us in terms of creative output. Okay, here we go. People running, but there's a little too many. People running without any umbrellas, that's fine. One guy running on his own there. Okay. So yeah, so I just want to make it clear that, I'm not shilling the gear just to shill the gear. I actually genuinely was interested in this. I didn't know about this lens, but when Viltrox, who we've worked with before, offered it, I thought, yeah, that's cool. 135, that's something I haven't shot with in a long time, like this kind of prime lens. And I actually think it'll be useful for various things. And these days I have been sort of gravitating towards longer lenses, partially because various companies have been sending them to us. We did that TT Artisan 75 f2 review, and then we did the Sirui 85 1.4, and now this Viltrox 135 1.8. These all are fun to use, and I've been enjoying those lenses, and I'm probably going to enjoy these. Anybody who's taken a workshop with me over the last few months here in Tokyo, by the way, will have seen me carrying that Sirui especially a lot. I've been using that thing a lot. But probably for the next few weeks, if you take a workshop, you're going to see this one a lot because I've already enjoyed using it. I think it's very interesting focal length. It's obviously very limiting in what I can shoot because there's a lot of stuff that I can't shoot. I already felt that on the way here, like I was often too close to subjects because it's quite a long lens and it's not a zoom lens, so you're just stuck with the focal length. But I like that limitation. To me, that's interesting. It forces me to be creative. And if it means I miss a shot, I miss a shot. That's okay. All right, let's try this one more time.
This is a boarding call for 1530 bus bound for Haneda Airport from Gate A1.
All right, well, I got a pretty good one there. I like this couple cowering under the umbrella running across the street. I think that's pretty cool. For just like, I don't know, 3 or 4 tries of people crossing, I'm happy with that. I'll probably revisit this spot another time. Let's keep going. We'll go somewhere else. Actually, the idea that, that spot is something that I found somewhere and then I checked it out based just on somebody else's word, actually kind of, underlines what we do at iExplore, because that's kind of what we do. We know a lot of good spots, but that's not the only thing, of course, we offer. We also, provide a lot of, I don't want to say tips because that belittles them, but basically a lot of instruction, but then that makes it sound like we're overbearing teachers. But basically we help people be creative, right? That's what we do at iExplore. And part of that is finding good locations and then sharing those locations. So to me, it's like, some people worry about that a little bit, like, people on the workshops will say this to me and say, but this is kind of your photo because you brought me here. And I'm always like, no, it's your photo. You took it. Yeah, sure, I showed you the spot, but ultimately you framed it and, you came up with how to shoot it. And even though if it's similar to something I've done or somebody else has done, that doesn't make it not your photo if you find that, truly interesting to you. And that's I guess what it means to be an authentic artist, is you create things that you truly find interesting, not really worrying about whether it's been done before or not, right? So that's my feeling about it. So yeah, so I regularly, if I see someone's cool shot and I can go to that spot, I will do it. I don't hesitate. I don't feel bad about that. I do like to give credit when I can. So I do feel a little bad. I don't remember whose Instagram I saw it on, but if you think it's you, then thank you for showing me that spot. On that note, if I've talked about our workshops, if you'd like to support this channel, the best way is to come to Tokyo, take a workshop with me or one of the other guys. We do also have a map of Tokyo photo spots. This spot will probably be soon added to the map. So, like I said, I think it's great to share these things. And also, if you'd like to support me in other ways, you can also check out my book, my prints on my website, all that kind of good stuff. And we do have a Patreon, and those of you who support us on there, we're always grateful to you guys. Oh, I love the building in the fog. That's what I was saying. Like, on a day like this, all the skyscrapers are off in the fog like that. Maybe 135 is honestly a little too tight for this shot because I don't get enough context. Let's try the crossing right now. I think people are going to start moving in just a second. And it's tempting to just do it like this, the normal way, but yeah, that's not that interesting. So I'm going to shoot through this thing, maybe getting things out of focus a little bit. I don't know, trying to be creative here with these little like rain rivulets on the window here. I love this kind of impressionist style of shooting. I mean, was that good? Probably not. I'm kind of not so happy with the result, but it was worth a try. It was a good experiment. Ooh, we can do there's some potential for like puddles and reflections, I think. Don't know if this is the right lens for it in terms of the position, but we can try. Let's go down the landing here. Oh, great. That's what I was hoping for. Okay. So there's this yellow line, and there's a puddle right next to it. And then if I, get a person in just the right spot, they will reflect upside down in that puddle. And then when I flip it around right side up, it's going to look nice and surreal. So now we just need some people in that right spot. It is a tough shot because the puddle itself is very small, so the window of opportunity is very, very narrow. Yeah, it can definitely work. If the people are in the right spot, it'll work, even though it's like a very narrow little puddle. Just, it's a rolling of the dice, right? I got to roll the dice. And actually, with people without umbrellas are better because then they fit better into this tiny little reflective spot on the ground. So, yeah, probably not the way this lens, I think, is imagined will be used by most, by the people who made it. I guess it's kind of a portrait lens. But I don't know, I like to just shoot the stuff I see with whatever lens I have. I like the idea of using an atypical lens for a particular subject. In this case, this kind of street photography with this long lens, which, has some merits, but some challenges, right? In terms of framing things and, things are often, like I already said, a little bit too close. Yeah, but the limitations are good. In terms of just like a review of this lens, which I know I've barely really done that, Actually, let's do a shot here real quick, maybe as I'm blabbing. But the lens is, you know, it's sharp. It's a pretty good spot to kind of do more or less what I had in mind earlier. But yeah, I was going to say that I don't have, you know, I haven't looked at these photos yet on the computer at home, so I can't speak for sure how sharp it is. But just looking at them in here, it seems like a very sharp lens. I don't know how sharp it is corner to corner, but I also frankly don't care that much about that kind of thing. I care more about just, does the camera play well with this lens? Is the autofocus good? And yes, I can say unequivocally, the autofocus is amazing, just like on pretty much every lens I throw onto this camera. So there's no issues with those kind of things. Essentially, it's easy to use. It's doing exactly what I want. There was a few times where I was struggling with focus, but that's because I was like trying to focus on the glass in front of me, but the camera thought I wanted to focus on something beyond. I don't think that's the lens's fault at all. So yeah, pretty awesome piece of glass. It's easy for me to say that, having received it, you know, for free. I get that. But I think if it's competitively priced, I don't know how much it's going to cost, but if it's competitively priced against a similar lens from, say, like Nikon or some other maker, I think it's a great choice. I don't know. If you need a 135, it's really good. I'm enjoying it. And like I said, I'm not joking. I will be bringing this crazy thing to workshops, and it'll very much limit what I can shoot, but that's okay, because I like limitations. Limitations, or a better word is actually constraints. Constraints lead to creativity, in my opinion. I'm going to move a little bit this way in the path of a guy that's coming. Oh wait, this guy with the blue umbrella here. It's cool. That was my original, and of course he moves right away, right as I realized. You know, the fact that he was just standing there would have made it easier to frame that up, so I could actually really think about the exact distance and position I'm at, and then kind of understand what's, you know, the dynamics of this scene a little bit better. Like, should I be lower? Should I be higher? Should I be closer or farther? It's a little unclear to me. What's fascinating to me is, like, I treat these kind of things like a puzzle. Like, I'm trying to figure it out if there is a shot here. I don't really know if there's a shot. I have kind of an instinct for it. I feel like there is one. I like this little pigeon. Let's do that at 1.8. Let's see if I can nail the focus on that pigeon. Okay. This lady. Okay. Okay, that was kind of cool. The way she was walking was great with the shoes and the reflection.
Guys, just pay attention to where you're walking.
How does it look from here? This classic neon that I've shot a bajillion times from, you know, over there. Never really looked at it from way over here. Well, that's pretty cool. Yeah, it's actually a little too tight now from this position. All right, I didn't maybe get the best moment in terms of the neon being on, but the perspective was right. I don't know. It's a kind of a cliche shot, but because it's just this famous neon sign that everybody has shot a bajillion times. Okay. But you know what? Here's a shot that I'm not going to delete, and I'm going to put on the screen right now. I messed one up because in my haste as I was going in, you know, bringing up and down, I think I took one and brought the camera down too soon. I'm only on a 50th. And there's this really nice vertical blur. And I'm going to do that now, like intentionally, because actually that looked pretty cool. I'm going to slow it down more to a 30th. Let's see if I can recreate that. Okay, I got a bunch to choose from there. Ooh, yeah, that's interesting because the building next to the neon sign is this kind of vertical stripy thing, right, going on. It's a very poetic description, Lucas, a vertical stripy thing. But it has these vertical lines, right? So I think a 30th was actually, I think a 50th was right. 30th was too slow. Let me try that one more time. See if I can get it vertically just right. I quite like that. Okay, just a couple more, just to, you know, finalize it, get it exactly, you know, the way I want, some other variations. I really like what I got there. Okay. I was just telling Axel as we were shooting the previous spot, I was like, man, I want to get one more good photo to end on. And this is it. That's a very esoteric photo. Probably a very unusual way to use this 135 1.8. But hey, it works for me. I think I did something creative and a little bit different, a different take on a local classic, something, this classic neon sign. So yeah, we'll end it there. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you guys in the next video. And remember always, challenge your eye. Oh, you're still here. Well, thank you so much for watching all the way to the end of the video. That really helps us out, with the algorithm. But since you're here, I want to remind you guys the different ways you can support this channel. The best one being coming to Tokyo or Kyoto and taking a workshop with us, or me or one of the other guys on the team. That's a huge help. Of course, we have some other things that we offer. For example, you can purchase a map of Tokyo photo spots. Currently, there are over 500 locations on the map, useful for planning your trip in Tokyo or exploring the city. Also, I do have a book out called Tokyo Unseen, so please check that out. And I do sell prints, so if you'd like one of my photos as a print, check that out as well. But last but not least, there is Patreon. Those of you who support us on Patreon, we're extremely grateful, and anybody who's thinking about it, we'd really appreciate that. That is another way to get access to the photo spot map. All right. And last little tiny thing, there are referral links to all the gear and stuff that we use in the videos, so just clicking on those links helps us out as well. And of course, all the other things I mentioned are also linked in the description. All right, so thank you guys so much for watching to the end, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.